I want your boss's number. Okay. So my dad used to own his own company that unfortunately went under and vanished due to the UK recession in the mid-late 2000s. He was a joiner and knows the trade inside and out. He has told me a few stories and one of them fits here. So my dad and his team had a contract to do some work on someone's kitchen. A very simple job for my dad. But there was an antagonist, the neighbor, who we will call Karen. So it was 10 a.m. and Karen opens her window and shouts to my dad, "I am back from the night shift and I have another tonight. You need to keep it down." My dad replies, "I do apologize, but we are currently within trading hours. And I have a job to do." Karen just scoffs and walks away. Roughly 20 minutes later, Karen comes back. "I told you to keep it down. I have the night shift." My dad reiterates, "As I have already stated. It is trading hours and we have a job to do." Karen comes out of her house and walks up to my dad. "I want your boss's phone number." Now bear in mind, this was my dad's company. As in, he owned it. He was the boss. But instead of playing the "I am the boss" card, he complied and gave Karen his business card with his work mobile number on it. My dad thought she was bluffing and he then got a call less than 10 minutes later and he answered. It was Karen. "I would like to make a complaint. You have workers here and they are making too much noise and I have the night shift tonight and need some sleep. Also, one of them was extremely rude to me and needs to be dealt with." My dad replied with, "As I have told you twice already. Through your window. It is trading hours. We have a job to do and furthermore, your night shift is of no concern to me or my team." Karen just swore at my dad and hung up and my dad was able to finish the work he was given. He told me that he was expecting Karen to come out and punch him in the face, but that never happened. I gave out the local FBI office phone number to someone who wanted to speak to my boss once. I have it memorized because I used to give it to people back in the 90s as a prank. I was an assistant manager at a gift shop for a decade. I couldn't count how many calls I received to complain about how rude I had been. It's amazing how many people mistake rudeness with an answer they don't like. There is no way anyone can say no to a Karen in a way she will think is polite. I had this happen one glorious time. I was a department supervisor in a library and also could be in charge of the building if my manager was out. We didn't wear badges that had our title, so one worker looked the same as another. One day we have a lady yelling at my team asking for something impossible. Like it was against policy and set in stone. She got to where I was sitting and demanded that I give her what she wanted and I told her it was impossible. She then demands to see the department supervisor. So I stood, did a twirl, held out my hand, and introduced myself as the department supervisor. Apoplectic. She demanded to see the building manager, which told me she knew our org chart and this wasn't her first Karen rodeo. So I turned like I was going to the back. Then turned back to her and informed her I was the acting building manager and she still wasn't getting what she wanted. Lady stormed off after that. Don't fuck with my team. I used to work for a snow removal company. We had contracts with the customers, and we were required to remove snow within a certain time period. We usually worked all night long after a snowfall. We were shoveling and snowblowing at a customer's house. Late one night, a woman leaned out the door, shrieking about how it was late. She was trying to sleep, and we needed to get the hell out of there. So, we did. Have fun shoveling. Karen. I used to work midnight to 8 in the morning at a hospital. I moved into a new, quieter, apartment complex and paid an extra couple hundred for the privilege. 2 months after moving in. They began construction renovating the exterior and repaving the parking lot. I couldn't sleep for 10 months without earplugs. It sucked. But I still didn't get mad at the world for it. Does she expect the entire apparatus of modern global capitalism to accommodate her sleep schedule? You know, as someone who has worked night shift myself, I can see both sides of the argument here. However, I'm coming down on the side of night shift sucks. And part of the suckiness of night shift is accepting that the majority of the world is not also on the night shift. So any noise that goes on during daylight hours is my problem, not their problem. Karen needs to suck it up. Oh, I would have loved to ask her some questions on how the employee was rude to her and caught her ass in the lying face with raised eyebrow. Yo, I am a joiner and I had a very similar story but with my own house. I don't have my own business and was still an apprentice at the time, but my neighbor came out yelling abuse at me because she works night shift. I said, mate, it's like 9 a.m. What do you want me to do? She said, oh, I see how it is. I'll remember that when I am coming home from work at 2 a.m. Told her to get fucked and she left us alone. I work nights and would never expect anyone to cater to my schedule during normal hours. That's why they make blackout curtains and ambient noise to block out life. The invention of Do Not Disturb has been a life changer for me. I have a similar neighbor here in Milwaukee as I renovate my house. She's constantly complaining and demanding things of our contractors as they just try to get their work done. Plot twist. Her name is actually Karen and she is the Karenest Karen you could ever possibly be Karened by. And no, Karen, our new garage foundation will not kill your tree. We are using LEED safe practices. And your neighborhood petition to stop construction on my property is of no legal consequence. I now live next to an actual, real-life Karen. I feel both sides. Both sides for the same reason, oddly enough. It must suck working weird hours. I'm sorry, but for an extra $1,599, you can pay to gift your neighbor a few hours of silence and delayed work. Karen would have shut up. Good thing this was before the advent of the malicious one-star Yelp reviews. Karen and her flying monkeys might have been able to create trouble for people who were just doing their freaking job. Folks who work second and third shifts, who have to be asleep during hours when the majority of people are awake and making noise, might want to invest in earplugs and white noise machines. I could see Karen having a beef if a neighbor was blasting a stereo or their kids were making a rumpus under her window. But people who are working can't help it if the job creates noise. Also, the more times Karen interrupted your dad and his team, the longer they were going to take to get the job done. She should have gone with using earplugs. My neighbor is currently rebuilding. Tool laws are 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Quite simple really. Me being hungover or wanting a sleep in doesn't mean I can do a single thing. Even the day the concert truck set up at 5:30 a.m. was annoying. But it was a big pour, and did I seriously want to create drama? No. I put on my white noise app on my phone and tried to ignore them. Used to manage a small factory. We sold some products for school fundraisers sometimes. One time we got a call from a customer. Mind you, only 2 people on the whole factory would ever answer the phone. I was one of them. I have spoken to 5 of you already, he starts. And the product I received is stale. I need to speak to a manager. Quote. Obviously I already know this guy is full of it based on the facts that this was the first time I've talked to this person and the only other person who would answer that line is the president of the company. So I walked to his office to give him the drop and confirm he hadn't answered this call before. This guy was full of it, trying to get a refund, starting the conversation with a lie. I don't know if my boss refunded him or just brushed him off as a liar. Working class people shitting on each other due to the demand of greedy billionaires and millionaires does not sound like a feel-good story to me, tbh. I had respectful builders that spent months refurbishing the house next door. They knew I worked early morning and he knew what time I went to bed. So he always did all the loud stuff early in the day and he always checked in with me weekly about the noise and if there were any problems. I never asked or complained about anything from day one, slightly smiling face. Some people are different. What kind of seasoned night shift worker sleeps without even trying to soundproof and black out their room?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.